So, roughly 9 months since launch, thousands of quick resumes, and hundreds of Game Pass games later, Xbox Series X, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's do this. So we're roughly 9 months into this generation, and I wanted to update you all on my thoughts around the Xbox Series X. 5 things I love, 3 things I don't really like, and 2 things that I hate. So first up, the good. The 5 things I love about the Series X 9 months after launch. So first up, the first thing I love about owning the Xbox Series X 9 months after launch, smart delivery. When I first heard of smart delivery, I, like many, wrote it off as a buzzword. Clever marketing. Something that sounded super cool, but in reality would amount to nothing. Project Natal, anyone? But if the PS4 to PS5 upgrade issues are anything to go by, pardon the pun, but this has truly delivered. Not only do you get the best version of the game on the Xbox you are playing on, move from one generation to the other, and your saves move seamlessly with you. And the only heavy lifting we have to do as gamers is simply sign in and press play. That's it. Sure, Sony has resolved the cross-generation save issue, but that's only one feature of smart delivery. Seriously, smart delivery is such an amazing feature and something that Sony needs to incorporate moving forwards, but I highly doubt they will. But we can't talk about smart delivery without at least touching upon the second thing I love about the Series X, backwards compatibility. Microsoft and the Xbox has set the bar for what we should expect from backwards compatibility in the future. Your games run faster, better, and at higher resolutions, and in some cases, the frame rates have been doubled or even quadrupled. Crazy. Some will say, why do you want to play older games? But you're missing the point here. We all have backlogs. We all have games that we haven't gotten to yet. Why wouldn't you want to play them at their best, with the artist's true intent realized, without any of the constraints of last generation? Talking about last generation, we really saw Microsoft come into their own on console design and manufacture. From the over-engineered OG VCR looking Xbox One to the phenomenally groundbreaking and innovative One X, Microsoft truly delivered some fantastic consoles, and they peaked right here with the Series X. This thing is a unit. It's dense and so well made that it reminds me of a Nokia 3310. If this thing was to fall to the floor, I genuinely think the floor will come off worse. That's something I am not going to test. But all this to say that from the unboxing experience all the way down to the pad, Microsoft have truly built an experience and a machine that I truly have come to love. Now, the fourth thing I love about the Xbox Series X, quick resume. Some people don't understand the need or the want to be able to hop from game to game on the fly. No loading, no splash screens, just turn on the console and hop right back into the game exactly where you left off. Last night, last week, last month even, you just brought us exactly where you left that game last. Imagine how useful this feature would have been on a game like Returnal. Sure, it doesn't work for all games, and it definitely doesn't work for online games, but when it does work and where it does work, it is truly, truly brilliant. Like, imagine you're playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and a friend invites you to play Gears online. You simply just accept and play Gears, and when you're done, you hop right back to Red Dead and you're exactly where you left off. No loading game or loading your save. Simply play as if you paused the game to go grab a drink. Now this becomes so much more powerful when it's married with my favorite feature on the Xbox and my second favorite feature of next gen overall after the DualSense, Game Pass. The Netflix of games. Well, until Netflix becomes the Netflix of games. No matter where you decide to play, be it Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox or PC, there is simply no denying that Game Pass is the best value we have in gaming right now. For less than 2 Sony AAA exclusives you get access to 300 games on Game Pass for the year. Sure, we are technically renting these games, and though Xbox exclusives will show up day and day, there is no guarantee for how long they will stay on the service. Shout out Forza. But you still have the option to go out and buy that game physically or digitally. You can play that game you weren't too sure about, and if you really do love it, you can go out and purchase it again physically or digitally. Is it sustainable? I don't know. But right now, right this second, it is here and it is fantastic. For those of you lucky enough to own a Series X or S, tell me in the comments below what it is that you love about owning these Xboxes. And now for the bad. And honestly, the first one is such a minor thing, and I am really nitpicking here, but it's the lack of status indication on the Xbox. Yes, the Nexus button on the front turns white when the console is on, but the issue comes when the console is in rest mode or completely off. The button is simply off in both scenarios. There is no way of indicating whether the console is in rest mode or is actually completely turned off. And honestly, they missed such a massive opportunity to do something truly cool with LEDs on the top exhaust. Yeah, that one's really minor, but with all the quality of life improvements we've got on the Xbox, this is one that would have truly benefited us as gamers, especially with how quiet the Xboxes are this generation. Next up, I don't really like the expandable storage option that Microsoft have gone with for the Xboxes. Granted, it is miles better than what's on offer on the PlayStation 5 simply because of how simple it is. But looking past that simplicity, we currently only have one option, 1TB. There are no other capacity options, and that 1TB drive is still more expensive than what is on offer on the PlayStation 5. This can and probably will change, but it's what we have right now, and being frank, is simply the best of a bad bunch. And honestly, from what Microsoft have done with the Xboxes this generation, that's simply not good enough. Last up on the Xbox bad list, the UI. Sure, it has made some improvements in key areas since the last time I spoke about it. Like, for example, you can now see what is saved in your quick resume cache. However, it is still subpar. For example, in my eyes, the quick resume indicator is still buried and takes much more effort than is needed to figure out. Why not simply just have a quick resume logo on the cards displayed on the UI? Simple. But my biggest gripe with the UI is that it is still stuck in the past. Sure, it's fast and functional, but 1080p on the world's most powerful home console? Ridiculous. And yeah, I know there's a 4K version coming shortly, but this one UI across Xbox generation, I feel, is holding this generation of Xbox back. Come on Microsoft, give us something new here. You're arguably the biggest software company in the world. Flex your muscles, show us ambition like you have with these consoles. Yeah, sure, I get from point A to gaming or from game to game super fast, especially with quick resume. But still, it feels a bit cumbersome sometimes. Now, for the ugly. So, the first thing I hate about the Xbox is the lack of gaming innovation. Don't get me wrong, I love the Xbox and I love everything that it has on offer. But that's the thing, why haven't they pushed the envelope? I'm not asking for another Kinect here, but Sony gave us the DualSense and they gave us a refined control pad. Sony is giving us VR and Microsoft are simply not interested. Again, this is something that can and probably will change. However, right now, right this second, their lack of gaming innovation is something that really irks me. Right now, right this second, the only differentiating factor between this generation of Xbox and last generation of Xbox is raw power. That's fantastic and all, but come on, give us something that we cannot get elsewhere, like Sony has done with the DualSense on the PlayStation 5. And now this leads me on to the next ugly thing. 9 months into the console's life cycle, and we are yet to see a AAA must-play exclusive. Yes, you can say the same thing about Sony, but Sony have given us exclusives that you cannot play anywhere else, and that's the key here. Play anywhere else. With all the game studios that Xbox owns, yeah, this will change, and it will change pretty fast. However, right now, right this second, we have nothing. And that, again, is something that really irks me about the Xbox. Sure, Forza and Halo are due soon, but again, it's been almost a year, and still, we are having to wait for Forza and for Halo. And don't get me wrong, I know these games are going to be fantastic, but they are not here now. We don't have very much right now. And that is truly, truly bad. Ugly even. With all of that being said, I do still truly love the Xbox 9 months after launch. More now than I probably did at the start. And that's big, because we have no big games. But they're coming soon, and hopefully pretty fast. And with all that, again, being said, I do truly still recommend the Xbox. It gets a thumbs up from me and a 10/10 recommend. Thank you all for watching, and please like, comment, share and subscribe, and let's continue building this amazing community we're building together. Until the next one, goodbye.